Hello everyone. Today I am going to give you a how-to on to change the bearings on this is a double axle, 3,500 pound rated each axle, 5 lug. We're going to do the inners, the outers, and the seal. So right here I got a little bit of what you'll need. Impact to take the wheels off. You got your outer bearings, your inner bearings, your seals. I just got a block of 2x4 and a 4-pound sledge to knock the seal in. A flathead to help get the little dust caps off. This is a seal puller. I got it for like 10 bucks online. Needle nose to do the, I believe it's a cotter pin. You'll need some grease, and then I was going to also show you, I did the other side yesterday, so I wanted to kind of help everyone maybe identify, where the markings are on the bearings and, kind of how to do this. But so anyways, we'll start with the seal. Let's see if we can get it. I try to clean it up with a wire brush, but there you go. So I just went around and found the number and I cleaned it up. And so any part store will be able to cross-reference that for you. And then on the bigger bearing, it's on the actual bearing itself. But right there, this is an A17, that's the larger inside bearing. And then on the smaller one, it's a little harder to see, but see if it'll zoom in right there, A4, A-4. It's really hard to see. This one is really hard to see anyways without the camera. But anyways, so that's how you identify. And then, if you don't have any markings, take it to any of your decent part store and they'll be able to micrometer it for you and get exactly what you need. But yeah, so anyways, and then this large socket is also once I get the seal punched in with that 2x4, I'll use this socket to go ahead and set it all the way down in there. And so yeah, that's and then just a couple rags and stuff. But so that's what you'll need to actually do this job. And so I'm gonna get set up, get the wheels taken off and all that, and then I'll come back in and we'll finish up and I'll show you guys exactly how to do this. Alright, once you get the wheels off, so this is your little dust cap. And so I just kind of like to go around, just kind of knock on it a little bit. It's hasn't been off in a while, and I always kind of swing out towards the outside. Just kind of knock it loose, then I'll take my flathead screwdriver and use a punch or whatever, and then I just start working it around and it'll start coming off. Lay that to the side, because if you don't buy new ones, you're going to have to reuse that, which I am. So this is your cotter pin, and it's folded over the spindle going through the castle nut, and so you just fold it back. And I'm going to be reusing these as well because they're in good shape. You can replace them if you want to, but this was done not too long ago. Just whoever did it didn't do it right. And so now you have your spindle shaft, and this is what they call a castle nut because it's kind of shaped like a castle, and it's not awful tight. So you're going to take that off, set it to the side. Obviously you're reusing that, and then so you got a washer in here, or a shim, whatever. This whole thing is slide out now, so here's your washer. You want to set that to the side as well. And here's the outside bearing. This is the A4, this is the small one. We don't need that no more. Go ahead and slide your hub off, and then that's going to expose your spindle here. axle, whatever you want to call it. But I just like to clean that up, get all that dirt and grime out of there. All right. So on the back side of this, here's your seal right here. You know, it's hard to tell because it's pretty corroded, but, and then here's your larger inside bearing right behind it. And so I use this seal puller to get this out, but a lot of people will take something, catch that bearing from the other side, and just use the bearing itself and knock that whole seal out. Whatever works. If you don't have one of these, just do whatever you need to get that off. You're not reusing this, so it doesn't matter. Just don't tear up your actual hub. So I'm going to go over here to the concrete, and I'm going to stand on this and just pull that out. And then I won't pull it all the way out, but I'll pull it out, and then I'll bring it back over here and show you guys. Okay, so I went over there and I pulled that out. You don't need that, set it to the side. You'll need a number off of it, but that's it. And then you can pull the bearing itself out. And so at this point, you have your hub, and this is your large bearing, your inside bearing race. Let's see if I can, there you go, right there. That's your race for the bearing. That's what the bearing sets in and glides in. So you have the larger one on the inside, and then you have the smaller one on the outside. So here's the deal. We changed these enough that these are in good enough shape. I'm gonna clean these up and not punch these out. And I'm just gonna reuse these. But if you need to, you come from the opposite side and you catch the back of that race right there and you punch it out the side that it was pushed in. And you know, same thing, you flip it and then you punch that one out. And use a large screwdriver. I found that if you take those tire irons with the flat side that come in a lot of cars and you cut the bend off of it and so you have a straight shaft, that really gets in here and catches the lip of that race and pounds those out really, really nice. But so anyways, I'm going to clean this up and then we'll pack it with the new bearings and the fresh grease, and I'll give y'all, you know, step by step of how to do that. And you know, reassembly. A lot of people don't do that correctly and ruin their bearings prematurely. So we'll get this cleaned up and then I'll come back. Okay, so I got that cleaned up pretty well, and so now you start with the back. I've got the new bearing and race here. I'm going to take off the race that I'm not going to be using and throw it to the side. So this is your bearing. You have to pack this yourself. So I was taught a long time ago, grease in the palm. You'll take this and you'll just push the grease in through the bearings, and you want it to come out the back side and through this little rim right here. And you just want, you can't do too much. So grease the crap out of this. We're going to drop it in to the actual hub, and then that's when your seal will go on. But I like to grease that really, really well and then punch that seal in. So I'm going to go ahead and do that, and then I'm going to just show you guys one of these. So let's just go ahead and get going. So I take a bunch of this, the big one, and just start working it through, spinning it. And you'll notice it'll jingle for a little while, and then once you start getting grease packed in there, you won't hear no jingling no more. Those bearings are surrounded in grease. So then I flip it and go the other way, just make sure I get it. You want to drop it in. Then I just use all the grease that was in my hand, and I set it on top of that bearing, so that way when that seal goes in, it's got grease all in between it. As long as it stays greasy, these bearings will last a long time. Okay, so now make sure y'all can see that. Okay. So now you take your seal and you set it right on the back side of your hub, and it'll set down in there just a tiny bit. And so this is when I take my 2x4 block, lay it on there flat, take my little mini sledge, and that flushes it up. Alright, so that's not all the way set down. So this socket, this is a 36 millimeter. It's not quite big enough. So I kind of just take it to the edge, tap it down, go to the other side, tap it down, and just work it all the way down. And you'll know, you'll hear it, the sound difference, and it'll stop moving. Alright, so that's seated down in there real good. And so now I take, and there's a pocket in there, and I just jam that full. It's nice and full. We slide it back on. Alright. Now for our front bearing, same thing. You gotta pack it. Slide it over your shaft. I like to put a little more grease in here. And then that washer, which can only go in one way. Then your castle nut, which I should have cleaned that up already. So I was always taught, tighten that down by hand, and then you got to line up your hole. Quarter turn. And of course you got to line up your hole for your cutter pin. A lot of people do hand tight, and I've seen that done before, and it'll work for a while, but it lets too much play beyond those bearings and they wear out too fast. Get that lined up. So you get that back in there, and the same thing. You're going to bend it back. And then before you put the cap on, you're supposed to spin it 10 revolutions. So just spin the shit out of it. See how it's still got play? So take it off, and I moved it one more notch. No noise? No noise. Apply your dust shield, dust cap, and that's it. And now that's nice and tight. And then, let's see, here's the other one that I haven't changed yet. So it's got play in it, so we're gonna change them all. Like I said, I did the other side yesterday, so just wrapping it up. Thought I'd make a quick video on how to do that. So hope that was helpful, and just thank you for watching. Like and subscribe, more content to come. Thank you.